Aiden had always felt that the universe was whispering to him. Even when he was a child, lying on the grass in his grandfather's farm far from the noise of the city, he would stare up at the sky until his eyes watered. While other children dreamed of superheroes and cartoons, Aiden dreamed of galaxies, black holes, and the possibility of life beyond Earth. He remembered telling his grandfather, "The stars feel alive," and the old man had only smiled and said, "Perhaps they are, my boy. Perhaps they are." Those words remained carved in Aiden's memory. Now, years later, they echoed in his mind once again. His small apartment was dimly lit except for the glow of his numerous monitors. Wires, notebooks filled with calculations, and star charts were scattered everywhere, organized chaos only he understood. The mysterious cosmic signal he'd been tracking for months had become an obsession. Every day after work, every night before bed, he would sit and analyze the pulse, convinced that it held meaning. The signal was unlike anything scientists had documented. It wasn't random radiation, and it wasn't the predictable pattern of a pulsar. It was irregular, but purposeful. There were pauses and repetitions, almost like breaths in a sentence. And tonight, the signal was louder. A sudden beep jolted him from his thoughts. His screen flashed red, unusual spike detected, intensity, 9.4 inches. Aiden froze. The signal had never risen above 5.1 before. What's happening? He murmured, adjusting the frequency. Waveforms raced across the display. But this time, they weren't chaotic, they were forming shapes. The data moved like it was alive, as if an unseen intelligence was arranging it deliberately. A sequence repeated 3 times, each time clearer. Then came the moment that made every hair on Aiden's body stand. The pattern he'd spent months trying to decode suddenly reorganized itself into something unmistakable, a spiral. Not just any spiral, the exact pattern he had drawn as a child, the one he always felt represented, the voice of the stars, though he had no logical explanation for why he believed that. He had drawn it hundreds of times on notebooks, walls, even the covers of his schoolbooks. Now it was glowing on the screen. How is this possible? Aiden whispered. As he reached forward, his hands trembled. A deep humming sound filled the room, growing louder, vibrating through the walls and into his bones. The lights flickered. The air thickened, warm and dense. Then a soft glow began forming at the center of the room. Aiden stepped back, eyes wide, heart pounding. The glow grew brighter, swirling in the same spiral pattern that appeared on his screen. It twisted and pulled inward, forming a shimmering oval, like a doorway made of pure starlight. He couldn't move, he couldn't breathe. The humming became a gentle resonance, and then, a voice, calm, clear, not from the speakers, not from the room, from everywhere. "You have listened longer than others." Aiden's pulse raced, his mouth went dry, he scanned the room, as if expecting to find someone hidden behind the shelves. Who's there? He stammered. "You have heard us." It wasn't a human voice. It wasn't robotic either. It felt ancient, wise, layered, as though many voices were speaking in perfect harmony. Aiden swallowed hard. "I've been trying to understand the signal. Are you sending it?" Silence stretched for a long moment before the voice returned. "We are, and you are the first to listen with intent, not fear." Aiden felt his knees weaken. He gripped the edge of the table for support. "Why me?" "Because curiosity is the key that opens beyond the known. You hold that key." The glowing portal pulsed gently, invitingly. Aiden took a step forward, drawn by a force he couldn't name. Every instinct screamed at him to run. Every dream he'd ever had told him to stay. "You want me to come with you?" His voice cracked. "Your world is reaching a threshold. Curiosity is awakening. But curiosity must be guided." "What threshold? What does that mean?" "If you come, you will understand. If you stay, the door will close." Aiden felt a deep ache in his chest. The words were both a warning and a promise. Images flashed through his mind. His grandfather's smile, the countless nights lying under the stars, the years he spent searching for meaning, the loneliness that came with knowing he was different, always yearning for something he couldn't explain. This is everything I ever wondered about," he whispered. He stepped closer. The light was warm, soft, almost comforting. Like standing in the sunlight after a long winter. His fingertips brushed the surface of the glowing oval. It rippled like liquid. "Why me?" he asked again, voice trembling. This time, the answer came gently. "Because you asked the right questions. And the universe always answers those who truly listen." Aiden closed his eyes. He saw, in a brief flash, memories of every moment curiosity guided him, books he devoured, Questions he asked, theories he built, nights he stared into the infinite darkness waiting for a sign. This was the sign. He drew a deep, shaky breath. And he stepped through. For an instant, there was nothing, no sound, no gravity, no sensation of movement. He felt suspended in a void. Then everything rushed forward at once. Light, motion, wind, stars. He opened his eyes to see rivers of glowing energy streaming across a cosmic landscape. It wasn't space as humans knew it, it was more like an astral realm where galaxies flowed like water and distant suns shimmered like lanterns in a vast ocean of darkness. Aiden gasped. Tears filled his eyes. He stood on a floating platform made of pure light, suspended in the middle of a cosmic expanse that defied physics and imagination. Below him, nebula clouds swirled in spiraling colors. Above him, constellations shifted as if alive. Then a shape approached, tall, luminous, human-like but made of radiance rather than flesh. "Welcome, Aiden," the being said, though its mouth did not move. "This is the threshold, the beginning of what lies beyond your stars." Aiden could barely speak. Where am I? In a place your kind has not seen. A place between existence and possibility. The being extended a hand made of shimmering starlight. "Come, there is much for you to learn. The mysteries of the universe are endless, but you are no longer merely an observer. You are now part of its unfolding." Aiden looked out at the endless cosmic expanse, heart racing with fear, awe, and overwhelming wonder. This was everything he had spent his life searching for. And he knew, deep in his soul, that his journey had only just begun. Aiden had no idea how long he stood there, suspended above the cosmic ocean. Time didn't behave normally in this place. Seconds felt like minutes, minutes felt like lifetimes. Yet he didn't feel disoriented. Instead, he felt strangely calm, as though his mind had opened to a frequency he had never accessed before. The luminous being beside him radiated warmth, not temperature, but presence. Its form shifted with the colors of distant nebulas, as if it were woven from the stars themselves. Aiden finally found his voice. What are you?" The being tilted its head slightly. "We are not what we are called, but what we do. If you need a name for understanding, you may call us the Luminaires." "Luminaires," Aiden repeated softly. "And what is this place?" "A convergence point." The being swept an arm across the cosmic landscape. "Here, realms overlap, dimensions touch, energy becomes thought, and thought becomes form." Aiden stared out at the swirling galaxies, awestruck. "Why bring me here?" The Luminaire's light flickered gently. "Because your world stands at the edge of awakening. Humans are beginning to look beyond their limitations. But discovery without understanding can lead to destruction." Aiden frowned. "You mean, technology, science, curiosity," the being corrected. "A powerful force. It can create, it can destroy. You were chosen because you seek knowledge without hunger for power." Aiden blinked in surprise. "You've been watching me." The Luminaire's glow softened. "We watch all who listen. But only a few here." Aiden's mind churned. This place, these beings, everything defied human logic. And yet it felt strangely natural, like he had always known something out there was waiting. He took a step toward the edge of the platform. Below, stars flowed like silver rivers. Planets formed and dissolved in seconds. Strange creatures made of energy swam through the void like cosmic whales. Aiden whispered, "This is beautiful." "Beauty is the language of the universe," the Luminaire replied. "You see it now because you are ready to understand." A burst of shimmering light suddenly streaked across the horizon. The platform trembled gently beneath Aiden's feet. "What was that?" he asked. The Luminaire grew still, too still. Its glow dimmed slightly. "A shift," it said quietly. "One that should not be happening here." Aiden felt a chill, even in a place where temperature didn't exist. Before he could ask further, the platform moved, gliding across the cosmic expanse as if guided by invisible currents. Aiden tried to steady himself, but there was no wind, no gravity, no sensation of movement. Just motion. "Where are we going?" he asked. "To the archive," the Luminaire answered. "You must see what came before." The word carried weight, mysterious, ancient, important. Moments later, structures appeared in the distance. They were not buildings in the human sense. They were vast crystalline towers made of translucent light, floating like islands in the cosmic sea. Each tower pulsed with different colors, sending beams across space that intertwined like threads of knowledge. The platform ascended toward the largest tower. As they approached, Aiden felt a hum in his mind, a soft vibration, like distant whispers. "What is this place?" he asked in awe. "The Archive of Echoes," the the Luminaire said. A memory of the universe, preserved by our kind. The platform stopped at the entrance. A massive archway formed from spiraling stars. The moment Aiden stepped inside, his breath caught. The interior was endless. Rows upon rows of floating prisms drifted through the vast chamber. Each prism held within it swirling images, exploding suns, ancient civilizations, beings of light and shadow, galaxies being born and dying. Aiden stood frozen. These are memories. Not memories, the Luminaire corrected gently. Truths. Echoes of everything that was, is, and possibilities of what may be. Aiden reached out toward a prism, but the Luminaire touched his shoulder lightly. Only the ones meant for you will reveal themselves. As if responding, one of the prisms floated forward, glowing in the same spiral pattern Aiden had seen on his computer screen back on Earth. Aiden's heart pounded. That symbol again. The Luminaire nodded. Because it belongs to your lineage. Aiden's breath hitched. My lineage? What do you mean? The prism opened like a blossoming flower. Light enveloped him, and a vision filled his mind. He saw a world long ago, bathed in blue and silver light. A civilization more advanced than Earth could imagine. Towers that floated in the sky, powered by pure energy. People who moved freely between stars. Among them was a figure with the same spiral symbol glowing on their chest. The figure stood before a group, speaking with quiet authority. Aiden felt tears sting his eyes. That's someone from my ancestors. Long before human society took shape, your lineage carried the mark of the Seekers, the Luminaire explained softly. Those who could hear the universe's deeper frequencies. Aiden shook his head in disbelief. I'm just an ordinary person. The Luminaire knelt slightly to meet his gaze. Your body is human, but your curiosity, your perception, your connection to the signal, these are remnants of an ancient inheritance. Aiden felt a swirl of emotions, shock, fear, wonder, confusion. Nothing made sense, yet everything felt right. So that's why I heard the signal. Why I understood the pattern. Yes, the spiral calls to those chosen to guide change. Aiden took a shaky breath. Change? What kind of change? The Luminaire's gaze shifted toward the vast cosmic window where distant explosions rippled across space. The universe is shifting. Energies that have been dormant for eons are awakening. Some awaken to enlighten, others awaken to consume. A dark pulse rippled through the chamber, momentarily dimming the prisms. Aiden flinched. What was that? The disturbance we sensed earlier. The Luminaire motioned for him to follow, and they moved deeper into the archive. The air vibrated with a growing tension. There are entities not like us, the Luminaire said quietly. Beings born from void, not light. They thrive in chaos, in entropy. They feel the shift too, and they seek to influence it. Aiden's stomach twisted. Are they dangerous? Two worlds unprepared? Yes. Aiden swallowed hard. And Earth is one of those worlds. The Luminaire turned to him, its glow brightening. Which is why you were called. You must learn. You must understand. Only then can you help your world face what is coming. Aiden felt the weight of their words settle over him like a mountain. He wasn't ready for this. He wasn't a hero, or a scientist, or a savior. He was just a man who listened to a strange signal in the night. I don't know if I can do this, he whispered. The Luminaire reached out, touching his shoulder gently. Courage is not born from certainty. It is born from purpose. And your purpose has only begun to reveal itself. Before Aiden could respond, the chamber trembled violently. Prisms shattered. Light rippled like a storm. A piercing sound echoed through the archive, like the universe crying out. The Luminaire's glow dimmed. They are here. Aiden's heart slammed against his ribs. Who? The void beings. The Shadowborn. The very name chilled Aiden to the core. A crack formed in the cosmic walls, spreading like a fracture in reality. A swirling mass of darkness seeped through, twisting and writhing as if searching for something. No, someone. Aiden. The Luminaire stepped in front of him protectively. Your training must begin sooner than expected. Aiden took a trembling step backward, eyes locked on the growing shadow. What do I do? The Luminaire pointed toward a narrow pathway at the far end of the chamber. Run. Aiden hesitated, but the shadow lunged, and he ran.